Good evening. Happy Sabbath, and welcome to this musical program. I know you're going to be blessed. The director of this group, Stephen Hutchison, was one of my former students at Sunnydale. I've known him since he was about 15, I think, and that was a little while ago, but he doesn't look any different to me. He looks pretty much just like he did when he was at Sunnydale Academy, but he's gone on to do great things. He got a music degree from Union College, and then he went to University of Kansas and got a master's degree. Was that in composition or ed? Ed, okay. And he's a composer. He does some marvelous things, and he's working with both the band and the choir tonight, and I know you're going to be very blessed. So I'm going to turn over the program to him. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Happy almost Sabbath. It's such a good feeling to come to that time of the week, isn't it? We're really, really excited to be able to come and be with you this evening. I am Stephen Hutchison. I'm directing the kindergarten through 12th grade music classes at Midland Adventist Academy in Shawnee, Kansas, which is just on the west side of Kansas City. And we have brought our concert band and our select choir diversity for you this evening. And we're really excited to share our praise with you. So it's our hope that as we're performing music tonight, that it won't just be a performance, but that it will be a worship experience. So we hope that you can meditate with us, worship with us this evening as we perform for you. We'll go ahead and invite diversity. This is our select choir, the audition to get in the group. They work really hard on the music, and most of the songs we do with them are a cappella. I'm going to let them introduce the songs we're singing, so you'll get to know them a little bit. We'll hang around in the lobby and stuff afterwards if you'd like to get to know them a little bit. The Adventist world is very tiny, so I'm sure you know somebody they're related to. So I will let Daniel introduce our first song.
The first song we'll be singing is Keep Your Lamps. Keep Your Lamps is an African-American spiritual based on the parable that Jesus told about the 5 wise virgins and the 5 unwise virgins. The basic message of the song is to be prepared for the second coming of Jesus.
This next song is one of my personal favorites that we sing. It's called Elijah Rock. It's composed by a well-known spiritual composer, Moses Hogan. He's a very prominent name in the spiritual scene. It's got a very dynamic, very upbeat tempo, very fast, energetic song, and it's got a lot of lyrics alluding to famous Old Testament patriarchs.
If I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses stood. If I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses stood. Oh, Elijah. Oh, Elijah. Oh,
This next song is an African American spiritual, and it's arranged by David Von Campen, featuring soloist Jordan Anderson, and on the piano we have Lily Burke. And it's called I Want Jesus to Walk With Me, and it's a cry talking about how you want Christ to walk with you through everything and be with you through all your struggles and through your heartaches and pains, and it's become my cry and my prayer every day, and I hope that it's yours too. I want Jesus to with me. I want Jesus to walk with me. All along my pilgrim journey, I want Jesus to walk with me. In my trials, Lord, walk with me. In my trials, Lord, walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me.
It is such a privilege to be able to do this for a living. Music has always been my passion, and so it's just been a blessing to see how God has led me to be able to do this every day. We have wonderful students at Midland Academy. You've just heard from Diversity, the select choir. We now have a couple of songs for you from our concert band. We're just going to make sure we're still in tune. Thank you. The first song you just heard is entitled Willow Creek Festival. The next song that we have for you is a very energetic and just praise-filled song. The title is Swahili Folk Hymn, and it's arranged by Kevin Mixon. This comes from a folk tune and a folk praise song that was found in Kenya and Tanzania. And then as that praise song started to circulate, Kevin Mixon, the arranger, heard it and thought, wow, this is making a great band arrangement. And so obviously you will not be able to hear the Swahili text through the instruments, but it is just such a joyful song. You'll hear some different percussion instruments than typical concert band. And the original tune says, Awabariki Bwana, which is praising God for his power and glory. The next song that we have for you from our concert band will be the last one you hear from them. And this is a really special piece. James Swearingen is a name that has just gone throughout the concert band world. He has been composing for years and years and years and years. And this piece has become a concert band classic, and it's called Majestia. And Majestia is a piece that seeks to describe what most find indescribable, and that is the majesty of God. And so majesty of God can take various shapes and forms. We can talk about his power and his might. We can talk about his mystery or his tenderness. We can talk about so many attributes of God. And as you're listening to this piece, I encourage you to listen how James Swearingen is depicting these attributes of God through this music. You'll hear the mighty and glorious. You'll hear the soft whisper. You'll hear the tenderness, a little bit of the mystery. But it's just such an honor to serve such a great God. And so this piece to us helps us express that majesty. Like I said, it is a real privilege to do this for a living. It's been an amazing year at Midland Adventist Academy. It's always a blessing when God comes through more than you imagined possible. Amen? Throughout this year, God has been teaching me many things. Among those things is that it's never a good idea to set limits on what God can do for you. Another one of those things is that a lot of times we see ourselves very in the present. When we are starting a project or when we are trying to do something, we think of it as we are starting this. We are, we are giving this the initial spark. But I don't know if you've experienced this. A lot of times when we have a bright idea, when we try to set something in motion, God has been working for so long to set up the right conditions to make this happen. This year, I guess the story starts last year in the spring of 2017. Our school applied for a grant through Adventist Health Systems. They have Florida Hospital and Shawnee Mission Hospital there in Kansas City. And they were giving money to Adventist schools to improve their facilities and their curriculum. And they gave us a $50,000 matching grant to renovate an area of our school to house our music department. For the past, since the school was created, music classes have been held on the gym stage, which has worked, and we've done great things. But when we saw this, we got really excited. And so we said, okay, we prayed about it, and it seemed like an open door for us that God was leading us toward, and so we said, let's go for it. And so we got a bid for the project at $120,000. And so it was a little bit of a jump between that, but we had this $50,000 grant. And so we said, $120,000 would get us a decent room to house our music education in. Where we could train students for ministry, where we could train students in the gifts that they've been given. And so we set out to raise $70,000 in one school year, this school year. It was very ambitious to us. No one had done that in a very long time at our school. So we threw events, we did fundraisers,